Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Needle. Welcome back to my channel for a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little breakdown on some of the best arena landing spots, and these are the spots you can land at for any kind of tournament or just scrims in general. These are all places that I was using last season for all the solo cash cubs or either for duo scrims or anything like that, but some of these spots are actually going to be including the new areas, the new POIs with the henchman and the boss. So a lot of these spots, you can get some pretty stacked loot if you get uncontested or have enough time to loot everything that comes with it. And if you guys have seen any of my other tips and tricks videos, I always try to stress that like the first 15 seconds, the first minute of the game is always going to be the most important, because it kind of decides what guns you get and just how the game's going to go. If you get some good loot, you're probably going to be set if you get some shield and stuff. So it's really important to make sure you have a good land and to have a spot that you're comfortable landing at, because if you're trying to fight somewhere where you haven't landed before, chances are you're probably going to get pooped on. So try to make sure you get a little comfortable with these spots before you start going to them every time. And to let you guys know, this is actually part 1 of a 3 video series I am doing on arena tips. I'm gonna make a couple other videos just covering general tips and stuff like W King and Arena, helping you guys overall get the champs and get your arena points up. So hopefully you guys can play in any champion tournaments or anything they have like that in the future for competitive. So if you guys do enjoy this video at any point, make sure to leave a like on the video and also subscribe and turn on post notifications for the rest of this arena series coming out later this week. Now to start with, my first spot is actually my main spot. If you watch any of my solo cash cubs, this is where I just did the best and overall performed the best in tournaments. I call this place the bottom island. It's like the most southern part of the map, this little island here. It's kind of split up into 3 different areas. Like I said, it was my main spot. There's a ton of loot, there's a ton of fishing spots, and it even has a boat to get out. Those are the main benefits and reasons I go there, because overall, if you do have a couple other people that come here, chances are you can win your fight or even just get some good loot and head out before you even have to fight anybody or even look at them. But this is all around it's gonna be a good spot. So this island is split up into 3 different main parts that you can land at. It's pretty spread out, so make sure you do land at one of the bigger buildings here so you can get some loot. The main one, or the first one that you'll see, is this red barn area when you're flying in. Total of 4 chest spawns here and about 5 weapon spawns or so it doesn't have the best loot, but if you see someone go into the other parts of the island, it's an obvious good spot to go to, and you can get some mats and whatnot to get ready to fight. But only 4 chest spawns at the red barn area. But the spot that I land at, my personal spot that I try to go to, is the bigger house up on the hill. It only has 4 chest spawns, but actually has like 11 or 12 total weapon spawns, so you're gonna have a full kit coming out of here as long as you get a little bit of shield. But the main reason I like to land here over the other spots, if I can get my drop here, is you just have the highest elevation of the island. If you get up on that house, or just even kind of use a little bit of elevation to kind of scope out where other people at, you can kind of start the fights and take control of the fights yourself. So that's why I try to get up on there. And also what's pretty cool about the house is each chest is just on 1 layer above each other. So once you learn how to loot this house, it takes like 15 seconds or something before you can just fully loot it and do it all the way through. So the quicker you loot it, the faster you can get to like finding people and getting in fights. So that's why I try to get the main control of that main big house up on the hill when I do land at this island. The last little section or part of the island you can land at is the docks part. There's a big water tower when you fly in with the weapon spawn on it, but this does have the most loot at the island, so this isn't a bad spot either if you can kind of snag this and get the first drop there. It has a total of about 7 chests and then about 10 weapon spawns or so. What's also good about landing here is, like I mentioned, you have the most loot on the island, but also you're right next to a bunch of fishing spots and the boat, so easy transportation. And if your goal was to be in a tournament and you just want to get the best loot and head out so you can play the end game, you could easily loot this up, get some metal, get your mats, and then get a couple fish and get out before you have to fight anyone. So that's the main reason I do like landing here, is if I do get a couple good weapons and some shield off rip, I'll try to push other people at this island. But if not, you can always just go away and play your life to end game and try to get your arena points up. So this was my main landing spot. What I would suggest for you guys to try first, give it a couple tries though. You need to get a little comfortable with the different buildings and how to loot them, but overall it's a really good spot, and I definitely suggest to try it out for arena and any tournament. After this, we have what I call the Slurpee Hut. It's just this little hut outside of Slurpee, and if you guys have been here before, you'll notice that there's like 30 plus slurp barrels, so that's the main reason I do go here. This is it's gonna be more of a solo spot, but I guess it could work for duos if you make sure you're uncontested. But like I mentioned, you can get max shield in like 15 seconds here. There's a ton of slurp barrels, so even if someone does land here, you can kind of reset the fight with barrels and get your shield back up. But I mean, just in general, getting all that shield means any kind of shield you do get from the chest is stuff you can carry. So if you get a full pot or some minis, you're taking that with you while you also have max shield. There's not the most weapons and just spawns here in general. There's only 4 chest spawns, but I mean, it makes good for a good solo spot if you're only trying to loot this and get out. But what I would suggest, and since the new season did add the new spots in, you can go to the rig, which is right next to it. You can literally get to the rig in like 20-30 seconds, and there's a boat right next to it for mobility. If you get zone and you have time, you can easily loot up the rig. So I was actually testing it for this video and landing there to see how quick it took, and we were doing it in duos, and we ended up getting into the rig and taking out the boss and getting into the vault where all the good weapons are. We got in there in literally like 2 or 3 minutes, so you can do that before the first zone even starts moving in. So it's definitely a viable spot. But there's been a bunch of games, like I landed there a lot in the solo cash cups, where I would just go land at this little slurp hut, get an SMG or something, kill someone quick off spawn, and then get shields and keep moving. And you're also just next to Slurpee, so there's boats everywhere, and then obviously a ton of fishing spots, because if you guys haven't realized, fishing is definitely the meta for arena and competitive. Having 4 floppers on you and minis at all time is like instant heals, so try to get floppers if you can for an ideal game. After that is another new POI, but this is a spot you can just land at yourself, and I've only been contested here like 1 time out of the 4 times I've landed here so far in arena, so there's a good chance that this is going to be a little low-key spot for a bit. But this is the Grotto, and there's a ton of loot here since it's where all the bots are and the bosses are, so you can end up actually getting into the vault here where the boss is. So if you do actually end up killing the boss at the Grotto, he has the mythic minigun, so I don't know, hopefully we can roll some of the gameplay, because that gun is just, I mean, the minigun is so overpowered how it is, and then you get the mythic version, like, you just hop into boxes and spray people with it. It's the most overpowered thing if you land here and get it. The one game when I was trying to get gameplay for it, I'll have it rolling now, but I literally got like 7 or 8 kills with it. This minigun is just, it's literally broken. So if they leave this in arena competitive, like, you guys definitely need to try the Grotto out, because it's just dumb. I don't know why it's in the game. But other than the minigun itself, there's just a lot of chests there and a bunch of spread out spots. So I know if you guys have landed here, you'll see that you can kind of scan yourself in and get these bigger chests. And for some reason, when you open these, you're good to get shield and get a big pot at least. And I got a couple scars one game doing it too. So there's a ton of chests and ton of loot here in general. And then another reason here that it makes it so good is it has its own rotation with one of the vents. So if you guys didn't see, there's a vent that you can fly out of and sends you right past retail and even to the slurp truck on another road nearby. This can easily get you to the center of the map, almost to like lazy, pretty easily. So even though it's kind of near dirty on the side, you can get to the middle of the map if zone does pull far, which is another bonus of landing here. And just like all the other spots, have to mention it, you are right next to dirty docks, so there's a ton of fishing spots nearby. Try to fish if you can. It's always going to help you if you have some floppers or a slurfish like I mentioned. And then also, what's also really cool about this spot is if they do actually add helicopters in. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they were rumoring to be adding helicopters in to the game pretty soon. This is actually where one of the helicopter pads is, so there's a good chance that if they do add them in, you could fly across the map with a helicopter too. So I mean, that's the best mobility in the game ever. So all around, the Grotto is a really good spot. If you guys have landed at the new POIs, you'll understand how the henchmen, all that work. It's a little weird at first, but once you get it down, you should be good to go and not get lasered by AIs who have aimbot. I don't know what that's all about, but the lasers are kind of nasty. And then for the last spot for the video, it's this little castle outside of Sweaty. Another spot that probably should only be used for solos, but you could probably sneak a duo here, so I'll go over the information for it. Has a total of 7 chest spawns, so you're going to definitely get some shield just from landing at the castle alone. And then actually a total of 20 weapon spawns, so you're going to get some good loot. So what I like to do when landing here, especially if it's a solo tournament, other people are coming, you're going to want to try to land on a weapon. So like I said, there's 20 weapon spawns, so try to kind of like scout out a shotgun or an SMG when you're landing in. In an ideal world, you could get a shotgun and like jump on somebody right away and get a quick kill, get your shield up. But if not, you can land at this little top chest. It's not the craziest elevation, but you do land at this chest and get like an AR or an SMG. It's going to be really easy beams and just looking down on people. So that's the most ideal way to land here, but if not, you can just sneak your way on a chest or a couple weapons. In my experience, I've landed here a lot in tournaments. You can get really solid loot just from the castle alone, but if you get a little loot path in the islands or anywhere nearby Sweaty, you can get a lot of extra good loot. The way I like to do it is, you guys notice on the beach down near there's a little like cargo trail, and there's 3 more chests there actually and a couple ammo crates, so that's a good way to fill up your loot. If you get all that for yourself and don't have to fight anybody, that's like 10 chest spawns alone right there. And then if you keep moving up past that, a little bit further up on the hill, there is another slurp truck. Slurp trucks are key if you could ever get a slurp truck in arena or get a spot near one. it's just an extra health, 100 extra shield, or whatever you may need. So Slurp Truck nearby as well, but all around another good spot. All these spots are kind of like on the edge of the map, so you're not going to be near too many people in arena, and it also means you're next to water, so you can fish, move around, and kind of develop where you want to take your plan, wherever zone pools for you. So this is another really good spot you guys need to try out for arena. That's going to be all for the video, guys, for all the arena spots. Hopefully you guys did take something away from this. These are spots that I've personally used myself, and some new ones that I've seen with the new season that are going to be pretty good if all seems to go well and they add helicopters into the grotto. That'd be so sick. I cannot wait for that. But that's all for the video, guys, for the arena landing spots. If you guys do want to see the rest of the arena series, it'll be coming out later this week on my channel. So like I said, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment what your favorite part was, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.